I'm Leah Hammond, and this is Darla, and we're back for another Bachelorette recap, episode 8. Okay, so the first date was with Chase in Colorado. Now, it was super beautiful. This was obviously done in the wintertime because there was snow everywhere, and it was so pretty. And in last week's episode, I thought Chase was like this filler-in dude. He was just kind of thrown in there just for TV. But tonight kind of changed that for me. It kind of made me feel like there were real feelings going on. There were real emotions between him and JoJo. They had hot chocolate up on like this cliff, and it was super cute and totally staged and everything with like this fur blanket. Anyways, so they go, after that, they go to his house, and big bonus points for him. He owns his own house. And so that was pretty cool. And I know that I kind of was like, ooh, JoJo, like, you know, she's all impressed or whatever. But they walk into the house, and he gives her like a mini tour, and when she walks in, there's like a toy stuffed lion. Now, I don't really recall there being like a joke of a stuffed lion, but obviously between them it was something, and because she looked at him and laughed and giggled or whatever, he surprised her with his dad showing up, and she was super excited. By the way, nice renos, buddy. The stairs, they should have been probably finished before you did the show. His dad showed up, and he came from a divorced family, which he was super nervous about, and it was something that was weighing heavily on his shoulders. JoJo's family, her parents were married for 35 years, and it just, I kind of felt like there was like that really big pressure, and I totally get where he's coming from. He told her, and she was totally cool with it. And the dad comes in, and he's totally skeptical of the whole thing, which I think most men are skeptical of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, whereas more women are kind of like, yeah, like a love story. It can happen any kind of way. So the dad just was very supportive and just kind of said, I support you in anything that you do, and if you're happy, then that's great. And which is good, because I think all guys kind of need that moral male support. And then they went to the mother's house with the stepdad and the sister, and that went really well. Then JoJo talked to the mom, and I felt like Chase's mom really wanted to be on camera because she was making like these really corny jokes and like, oh, it's all about having fun. And then JoJo said, well, I know you know how to have fun. And it just seemed very like she wanted to be in front of the camera until she actually talked to Chase. And Chase cried, and he said, I'm falling in love with JoJo. And then the mom cried, and the mom's like, we don't cry around here. And it was just like, it was a super sweet, sensitive moment that it made me realize that what was going on were real emotions, and it was really happening. So, bonus for Chase, and Chase told JoJo that he was falling in love with her, and I thought it was really sweet, and that date went really well. So next was Jordan, and that was in Chico, California. I didn't even know that there was a place in California called Chico, and I'm like obsessed with California, so that was kind of news to me. And it seemed really beautiful, and the most hilarious part was JoJo was doing her little talk scene, and there was deer running behind her, and she was like, oh my god! Totally such a girl thing. I thought that was awesome that they kept that in there. But their date started out going to Jordan's high school and seeing what kind of started it all, his whole career and everything like that, his brother's career. They were walking around the school, and they went into like the coach's office, and Jordan said, hey, you know, like spot me out on the wall. And JoJo made some comment like, oh, I pictured him being like this big hot shot and everything, but he really wasn't. He had like such a baby face, and so it was kind of funny. Kind of shot him down a little bit, but in like a cute, flirty kind of way. And then this is when things started to really heat up, is when JoJo asked him, hey, you know, like, this is a picture of your brother. Like, I know that this is a picture of your brother. He's like, yeah, memories, fun times, move on. And they like walked away. Didn't even address the topic at all. Now, I know that every magazine right now in the stores is Jordan this, Jordan that, Jordan this, Jordan that. And nobody knows the real story yet. And I know it's flickering my light bulb quite a bit, because I don't know what's going on. And it just seems so sketchy because when they came to sit outside on the bleachers on the football field, he just was like, didn't want to talk about it. And she was feeling really nervous. And I can understand, because if I was in a relationship and I didn't know anything about about my partner's family, and they just didn't want to talk about it, I'd be like, what's going on here? So Jojo said, okay, is your whole brother, is the whole topic of your brother Aaron totally off topic? Like, can't talk about it, off the cards, things like that. He's like, oh yeah, I just told them that I just would tell them that we talked about it and it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. And he was smiling and he was forcing the smile. It made it really awkward and just like kind of painful to watch. And so she kind of dropped it. She was very respectful of it. And they go to his parents' house, and his parents seemed very sweet, very loving. It kind of made me start to change my feelings towards Jordan about him being like the sketchy, kind of something's not right about him kind of guy, to maybe he was brought up kind of under his parents' wings and he's just kind of cocky, but there is a sweet side to him because he's got a really sweet family. But then another part of me is like, his parents really said nothing, like the whole time. Usually during the hometown dates, the parents really engage with the woman or the man that's the bachelor or the bachelorette, and they talk and they drill them and stuff. These parents did nothing. And then the brother had come in and Jojo was like, hey, this whole brother situation, and he shot it down too, which is like, okay, really, what is going on here? There's things that you don't really want to say on television, but also if the person that you're dating is feeling insecure about it, I would like tell them. Yeah, so that date was like all right, and Jordan's clearly head over heels for Jojo and vice versa. So, I mean, I'm still sticking to the fact that I think he's going to be the next bachelor, but who knows? So Jojo told Jordan that she still felt scared about like this whole brother situation, and she couldn't trust the fact that, when Jordan tells her that he loves her, that, it's really sincere and it makes her nervous. And Jordan was just like, no, this, like, I'm in this, all in this. And he's like, and if she doesn't believe me, I'm going to prove it to her. So that kind of gave him some extra brownie points because he was willing to prove it. And any guy that's willing to prove the fact that he loves them or loves somebody is perfect and bonus, and that's awesome. Okay, so next, Robbie. Florida date, carriage ride around this romantic, old-fashioned city. It was super cute, and Jojo was just beaming. Like, she just has like this thing for Robbie that's undeniable and cute and sweet and innocent. Like, it's so like raw and nice, and it's nice to watch. But this whole thing with Robbie and his ex-girlfriend and breaking up like only a few months before the show started taping, that's really, really hard even for an audience member to kind of wrap their head around, because they're like, you just broke up with your girlfriend. Like, is this like going to be some type of like rebound? And Jojo deserves better. Like, she's looking for marriage. But what I didn't find fair is the fact that Jojo was put under, on the hot spot basically with the guys before in like the tabloids of her ex-boyfriend Chad. And his Robbie's mother brought to Robbie's attention that there were rumors going around that Robbie broke up with his ex-girlfriend to be on the show. When he found out that he was going to be on the show, that's why he did it. Now, the fact that Jojo really got bent out of shape about it and was like, you need to tell me right now. If there's something going on, like, you need to tell me now. Because she did admit to Jojo's mother that she's falling in love with Robbie. She didn't say that about any of the other guys, and she told Robbie's mother this. And Robbie's mother reassured her that, hey, you know what? Everything's good. When Robbie says he loves somebody, he loves somebody. And Jojo was feeling so much better. And she was like, I love this guy. Like, this guy is great. His brothers loved her. like completely loved her. And I mean, who wouldn't? She's so hot and easy on the eyes. But she, like, everybody loved her, and she just was feeling so insecure at the end of this date. Robbie did everything he could to make her feel good. And I feel like at the end of that date, she was still like not sure about it. She's like, I can't fall in love with this guy because what if he's still in love with this other girl? And I totally get that. That's, you know, she has right to feel that way. I mean, I would feel that way too. So that date kind of, to me, ended on a little bit of a sour note. Okay, next is Luke's date. Okay, don't even get me started. It was the cutest thing in the whole world. Like, I couldn't even handle it. It was like, first, Texas. They're both from Texas. So that right there is like, that's not a red flag. That's like a green flag. That green means go, man. Like, that is just, I don't know how they didn't meet before. But Luke is my top guy. I love him. He is every girl's dream man. I will just say that the fact that he invited all of his friends, not just like 2 or 3, to this little barbecue, he invited all of them. I thought that was so cute because it showed that he was like, this is my girl, I'm in love with her, and I want the world to know that. And that was so sweet. JoJo felt a little overwhelmed, which also I can understand because it's a whole group of people instead of just like maybe 3 or 4. But she really fit in well. She had her cowboy boots on, her shorts. She played games. They had a barbecue. And it was just like, it just seemed like they have natural chemistry and natural passion. But I felt that emotional connection this time through watching it. They didn't really have too much of a conversations going. Like, the camera crew didn't really film a whole lot of conversations happening. But Luke did have a conversation with his dad. And it was so sweet. Like, his dad is so proud of his son. And that is just like, I think it's like the Southern guys in them that make it even sweeter. But it was very cute. And his dad was like, you know, when you know, and you're just glowing and you look happy. And I'm so happy for you. And he was saying how proud he was of him. It was just so sweet to watch. And the fact that his dad got all teary-eyed about it just made it even more sincere. Then Luke said, hey, JoJo, like, I have a surprise for you. And he put her on the back of a horse, or put her onto a horse, and they both took their separate horses off into the sunset, into like this field. So romantic with the sunset. So they came to a bale of hay, or bales of hay, that were shaped like a couch. And they had like pillows and everything. And Luke had this set up like so good. Even the barbecue with his red and white checkered tablecloths and his sunflowers, so Southern, so perfect. He just won my heart over. But he had this so romantic setup, and they sat down and they started talking, and JoJo was like, you know, I really feel like I missed you today, and like, it was great meeting all these people, but I just feel like there wasn't that time that we needed together. And Luke totally understood, and that's why he set this up. And they talked, and they really talked. And, you know, JoJo started to cry. And Luke said, are those happy tears? Like, I really hope those are happy tears. And she's like, well, I'm sad because I don't want to leave. And I feel like after watching that whole episode now, I feel like she was wanting something more from that date than what happened. She carried on with this conversation, and they started to kiss and stuff like that. And Luke said he has one more surprise for her. And he walked her down this path of candles to this heart of flower petals. And he said, JoJo, my heart is yours. And I was like, damn, he's got my heart. So cute. Like, I couldn't even. It was, I even teared up. I never tear up over The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, but I freaking teared up. It was so cute. Anyway, so JoJo went off, and it was like, Luke didn't tell her that he loved her. I was like, Luke, are you crazy? Like, you just missed your chance. I was pissed. So then after Luke's date, it was the rose ceremony. All the guys showed up to an airport with a private jet, but the guys all came out one by one, and lined up, and then there was JoJo. And JoJo said that she felt sick about what was going on, and then boom, she just blurted it out. I think I'm sending Luke home. I'm like, what? Like, are you stupid? Because that is like every girl's dream, is to have Luke and everything that he did for her. Like, are you nuts? And I just was like, mind blown that she even said that. So she goes in and she's holding the rose and she's fidgeting. And then Luke says, JoJo, can I talk to you? I thought that he might be like, I want to go home. Like, I wasn't feeling it, blah, blah, blah. And he takes her outside and he says, look, I've been thinking since that night that we had our date that I didn't get to tell you what I really wanted to tell you. And I want to tell you that I love you. And it was like right there, JoJo's face lit up like a Christmas tree. And she just, I saw it in her that she felt like a sense of relief. She was like, thank you for telling me that. And then he goes back inside, and then she goes walking off onto the runway, starts crying, saying that she feels sick and she's doing this to herself. She's just bawling her eyes out. Because they dragged out the fact that she was crying and that she was so upset, I was like, this better not be a to be continued episode. Sure enough, it's a to be continued episode. So we'll have to find out who she sends home next week.